You never expect to be betrayed in the middle of something so routine. That's what still gets me. It was just another Thursday afternoon, and I had come home early from work, half day for the quarterly staff meeting, the kind where no one really listens, and everyone leaves pretending they'll implement the suggestions. I figured I'd surprise my wife, Marissa, maybe catch the end of our daughter's guitar lesson and grab an early dinner together. Simple things. Things you take for granted when life still makes sense. Marissa had been a stay-at-home mom for most of our daughter Jenna's early years, but now that Jenna was 10 and more independent, Marissa had started to find herself again. That's how she phrased it. She took up yoga, photography, and even volunteered at the community theater. But the biggest change was how she got really involved in Jenna's music education. Every Tuesday and Thursday, without fail, she'd sit in on Jenna's hour-long lesson with Mr. Lucas, mid-30s, single, long hair, always smelled like cedarwood and some artisanal beard oil. Jenna adored him. He was charming and fun, and apparently knew how to play everything from Queen to Taylor Swift. We had only been working with him for 3 months. At first, I was grateful we found someone so enthusiastic, someone who made Jenna feel excited about learning. But after a few weeks, Marissa started dressing differently on lesson days. I noticed the perfume, stronger, muskier. Her casual jeans and sweaters became skirts and fitted tops. I chalked it up to her wanting to feel better about herself. Self-care, right? That Thursday, I pulled into the driveway just after 4 p.m. Jenna's lesson should have been halfway through. I figured I'd wait in the kitchen, maybe listen in. But when I walked in, the house was too quiet. Not silent, just off. Like when you know someone's whispering behind a closed door. I didn't see Jenna's backpack by the entryway. No guitar case either. Odd. I walked slowly down the hall toward the studio we'd set up for her in the converted garage. The door was cracked open just enough for me to hear movement, soft sounds, rhythmic, and a low murmur of voices, one distinctly female, breathy. I froze. My heart started pounding, not from suspicion, but from a weird instinctual dread I couldn't explain. I pushed the door open and time stopped. There they were, Marissa and Lucas, on the practice couch, tangled, skin to skin, her blouse halfway off, his shirt on the floor. No music, no Jenna, just them. She saw me first, eyes wide, like a kid caught shoplifting. Lucas froze mid-motion, looking like a deer trying to compute the concept of a semi-truck. No one said anything. For a full 10 seconds, we just existed in that silence. "Where's Jenna?" I asked, voice low but shaking. Marissa scrambled off him like the couch was on fire. "She's at Amber's. She's spending the night. We just needed." "You needed what?" I snapped. "To turn our daughter's music lesson into a sleazy motel hookup?" Lucas tried to stand up, saying something about how sorry he was, but I didn't even look at him. My eyes were locked on Marissa, my wife, the mother of my child, the woman I thought I still knew. "You planned this," I said, quieter now. "This wasn't a mistake. You made sure she wasn't here. You dressed up. You made this happen." She didn't deny it. That was the worst part. She just started to cry, whispering something about feeling unseen, lonely, how I'd been distant, how Lucas made her feel alive. All the cliches poured out like a bad soap opera script. I turned around and left. I didn't scream. I didn't hit anyone. I just walked out of the house and got in my car, hands shaking on the steering wheel. I drove until the sun went down, ending up in the parking lot of the old baseball field where I used to take Jenna on weekends. And I just sat there. Part of me wanted to go back and burn the guitar studio to the ground. Another part just wanted to pretend none of it happened. But deep down, I knew this was the beginning of the end. I didn't go home that night. I couldn't. I ended up crashing at my friend Devin's place. He didn't ask questions when I showed up with glassy eyes and clenched fists, just handed me a beer and let me sit on his balcony until the sky turned violet. The next morning, I texted Marissa, "I'll be by at noon to talk." "Alone?" she replied within minutes. "Okay." I don't remember much of the drive back. My mind was a blender of what-ifs, flashbacks, and a stubborn disbelief that clung to me like smoke. But when I pulled into the driveway, the car still warm from the engine, I felt something cold settle over me. This was it. The part where we decided who we really were. She opened the door before I knocked. Same woman. Same face. But everything was different. She looked smaller somehow. Not weak, just diminished, like the truth had drained all her color. "Where's Jenna?" I asked, stepping inside. "She's at my sister's. For the weekend," she said softly. "I thought it would be better." I nodded and walked into the kitchen. She followed. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I pulled out the chair and sat across from her. "Just tell me why, Marissa," I said, voice flat. She took a deep breath. "I didn't plan for it to happen. I swear I didn't. It started small, talking during Jenna's lessons, joking around. He was just there. And you were always busy, distracted. So I missed a few things, and your answer was to sleep with our daughter's guitar teacher?" I said, louder now. "Do you hear how insane that sounds? I didn't mean to fall into it. I was feeling invisible. You barely looked at me anymore, and Lucas, he saw me. He made me feel like I mattered." I stared at her. "You mattered, Marissa. You mattered when we picked out Jenna's crib. When you held my hand through your mother's funeral. When you curled up next to me after every crappy day." She looked down, tears spilling onto her lap. I know. I messed everything up." There it was. The confession. The admission of guilt that should have made me feel vindicated, but instead just felt hollow. "So what now?" I asked. She looked up, eyes red. "I don't know. I thought maybe if you wanted to try counseling." I laughed. Actually laughed. Not out of humor, but from the sheer absurdity. "Counseling? You had sex with another man in the room where our daughter learns music. You lied. You destroyed something sacred. I was lonely," she said again, clinging to that word like it could explain everything. "So was I snapped. "But I didn't cheat. I didn't risk our family for a thrill." The silence that followed was heavy. She didn't argue. She didn't defend. Just sat there, unraveling in front of me. "I'm going to file," I said eventually. "This marriage, it's over." Her lip trembled, but she didn't fight it. "Do I tell Jenna?" "No," I said. "Not yet. I'll do it when I'm ready. And when I do, I'll tell her the truth in a way she can understand." I stood, heading toward the door. Then I stopped and turned back. "And for what it's worth, I hope he was worth it." She didn't answer, just stared at the spot where I'd been sitting. It's been 6 months now. The divorce is in process. Jenna knows things are changing, though I've done my best to shield her from the worst of it. She no longer takes guitar lessons, said it didn't feel right anymore. I didn't argue. I'm living in a small apartment on the other side of town. It's quiet, too quiet some nights, but it's honest. And I've started to rediscover myself in the silence, my own rhythm, my own voice. The betrayal still stings. I won't pretend otherwise. But I've learned something through all of this. Some lessons are painful, some scars stay. But you heal when you stop searching for closure and start building something new from the rubble. Jenna and I play acoustic now, just the two of us. She plucks out chords while I hum along, and sometimes that's all the music we need.